And so when something's intimidating, using TikToks, which is not a place that you would think to go for, science learning. Well, I do. Obviously, my entire FYP is science communicators.
I did want to shift gears a little bit. You brought up SciComm, and I'd love to learn more about that and have everyone listening learn a bit more about that as well.
Yes. Well, SciComm, or I guess specifically for me, StatComm, is a huge part of what I do. And probably anyone who's listening who knows me probably does not know me for my research, but knows me for my SciComm. I've always been really passionate about communication, and I generally just apply it to whatever I'm doing. In fact, one of my favorite, to toot my own horn, one of my favorite comments I've ever gotten from someone was my stats teacher that convinced me to go into statistics wrote me a letter of recommendation and said, Chelsea's a 1 in 1,000 statistician, but she's a 1 in 10,000 communicator about statistics. And I think I really took that to heart because he said that very early in my career. And so I decided that I wanted to make things easier for people like me who were moving from an outside field into statistics and data science. And so I felt like I was good at communicating and started writing, mostly writing at the beginning, and then kind of realized that my snarky, weird sense of humor was something that could be valuable for communicating data science and statistics. So I started on Twitter. I don't even know why or what I did or how I got involved with the stats and data science community on Twitter, but I just started posting memes about statistics. And I think that I learned along the way that that's a really good way to teach people things and to engage people, because as I learned more and moved from being like a little baby statistician to being someone who was seen as knowledgeable, people would always come to me and say, like, I felt so intimidated, or I don't think I can do this or figure this out. Like, I don't understand. And it made me really sad. So I wanted to create materials that were approachable, that made people feel welcomed, and that kind of empowered them to reach that level that I was talking about before, where like, you've got to be rigorous. And I wanted to encourage people and provide them with materials that could help them do that. So whether it's, bad stats memes that make people feel, disarmed and comfortable with statistics concepts, to, I've written a bunch of things. I feel like I've not written in a while, but the Crash Course Statistics series on YouTube was one of my earlier big projects. I've written a bunch of blogs for various companies explaining statistical concepts. And that, honestly, to me, is more fulfilling than actually doing the statistics. Obviously, I still love doing the statistics. Sit me down and write some R code any day. But I really love empowering other people to do that for themselves. And I think that's been a gap that is sometimes missing. One thing that I started doing as a result of this SciComm, I had a meme go viral like maybe a year and a half ago. Viral for statistics tweets, not viral for real life. And I had been toying with the idea of doing consulting. And when that tweet went viral, I was like, oh my God, I've got to like capitalize on it. So I like threw up a website and put up this like casual consulting business. And I've not really poured too much time and effort into marketing it. But the idea was basically, there are so many people out there, particularly researchers, but I do get some industry, where they're doing their own methods, but they're not in-depth trained in statistics and data science, but they also don't have the resources to hire a statistician to do something for them. And so it tends to be those extremes. Either someone's struggling through it on their own, or they're resource rich enough to hire someone with expertise to do it for them. And there was this middle section where people were they sort of knew what they were doing, but they needed a little bit of help. And I really saw the consulting as an extension of that, where I was there to do casual consulting. I am not doing your analyses for you. I am not planning everything for you. I'm not writing code for you, but I'm helping you answer the questions that you don't know how to ask, or figuring out what an appropriate method is. And I see that as an extension of SciComm, because both SciComm and this are ways of empowering other people to learn and do things on their own. And so, to circle back to the SciComm, I think that's what's important about it. It makes people engaged with the topic, and makes them feel like they're capable of doing it themselves. And so when something's intimidating, using TikToks, which is not a place that you would think to go for, science learning. Well, I do. Obviously, my entire FYP is science communicators. Can make it feel a little bit more approachable and doable for the average person who may feel excluded, even on other social media platforms. Like, I know Twitter can sometimes feel intimidating because there's a lot of really smart people arguing vehemently about things all the time. But seeing a joke or seeing a familiar meme format applied to something that you felt was complicated is a way to, if I can pull out my psychology degree, is a way to reduce the cognitive load on people. You're giving them a framework that's familiar or is comforting, and you're putting a difficult topic on top of it. And it really allows you to reduce the cognitive load, to have someone feel like they have the scaffolding to understand something that maybe previously they felt was like too difficult for them to personally learn.
Thanks for watching this clip. Luckily for you, I picked 2 more clips that I think you might really enjoy. Either watch those or maybe check out the full episode.